And welcome everyone to another presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. And Doris Burks on the sideline as well.
Ready, gentlemen? Ready?
Last outing for Atlanta unsuccessful. The loss to the Bucks.
And I don't care how much you grind it out defensively. When you shoot it that poorly, you're going to struggle to win games.
Well, it's not only going to be a struggle, it's going to be virtually impossible if you shoot as poorly as they did.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. Setting the floor for the Nets. Ibaka is out there with Robin Lopez. Then there's Ellis. Then it's Anthony. And it's Rondo in at the point.
And Robin Lopez, last season, he missed about 6 weeks with that broken hand. But freak injuries aside, he's been pretty durable over the course of his career. Had played in all 82 games the previous 2 seasons.
Now here's Redick. They set the screen. Shot off the screen. And it's Hayward. That time on the assist by Blash.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation. Gordon with the screen for Redick. There's the feed to Hayward. From outside, off the mark. Last game for Brooklyn, it was a loss to Boston.
Yeah, the inability to make threes in that game, because they took a lot of them, I think, is why they ended up on the short end of the stick.
Yeah, they did take a bunch of them. Sometimes you can make up for poor three-point shooting with a strong inside game, but their inside game just wasn't strong enough.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Earlier, I was able to catch up with Mike Budenholzer. He knows one of the hardest parts on scoring against this defense has to do with their prolific shot blocker, Serge Ibaka. He told me he's one of those guys who can get in your head a little bit because he's so mobile. You often don't see him coming. And Kevin, you add in his great rebounding and ability to hit from mid-range, and he's always an X-factor for them. Back to you.
Always great to hear from you, Doris.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Not much to complain about for Brooklyn fans with the Nets' road play last year. Looked pretty much the same as they did at home.
And Kevin, that can cut both ways. I mean, the Nets were 19-22 on the road, exactly the same record they had at Barclays. Really nice dime dropping there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Here's Ibaka, and he drops in the layup off the glass. Ibaka's got his second basket of the night.
Where's the box out? Some easy second chance opportunities there.
Those kinds of mistakes drive me crazy and will absolutely derail a team's chance to win.
And for the Nets, on the road, they did have some differences. As a team, they shot better on the road than at home by a significant margin.
And so it's Brooklyn with it after the basket by Atlanta. Shots good by Ellis.
Yeah, poor job defensively, giving him such a clear look at the basket from three-point range.
You know, overall, the Nets had the same road record as they did at home. I mean, but late last year, they were the only team with more road wins than home wins. That was the case until their final game of the season, actually.
And Atlanta calls their first time out of the game. One thing you can say about Rajon Rondo's career, he's come up big in the biggest of games, had 6 steals in the closeout game that gave Boston its 17th championship. Remember that back in 2008 for Coach Doc Rivers?
I really do. And after that Boston win in the series against the Lakers, Phil Jackson called Rondo the star of Game 6. Everyone had always talked about the Big Three in Boston. That year, it was the Big Four.
Some changes for Brooklyn. Mahinmi's checked in for Lopez. Boozer comes in for Serge Ibaka. And it's Allen Crabbe in for Ellis. Now here's Hayward. Not a good performance from him in that loss to Milwaukee. Back to Anthony. Lets it fly from 18. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
And, you know, guys, on the topic of Rondo, you look at his playoff career now. I mean, in 2009, he averaged nearly a triple-double in the postseason. I mean, this guy has great instincts, but he has to have the ball to orchestrate the way he's most effective.
23 seconds left to play in the first quarter. And that's going to be a travel. For Brooklyn, they've gone 4 of 10 shooting the ball here in the first quarter. Outside Boozer. Puts it up from 17. And the officials call a traveling violation. And here is Chalmers. Beyond the arc. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Hawks lead by 1. And we'll get the second. And before the game, Carmelo Anthony talked about how he prepares himself mentally to carry this.
It's easy. It's basketball.
You don't hear too many players, Greg, saying it's easy and they're not too concerned.
Yeah, or talking about possibly winning basketball games. But I have a feeling he's more concerned than he talks about and when he says it's easy. It may be for him, but it sure didn't look easy for the Knicks last season.
Welcome back, folks. We have a close game here at the start of the second quarter of play. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Hawks.
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passing. That could set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, they're showing some muscle also in the first half as well. And getting a lot of their points in the paint. Really like the balance they've shown.
We've got Kyle O'Quinn. Richardson is out there with Chalmers. And there's Gordon. And it's Jefferson in at the 3, the small forward. That's the group starting the second quarter for the Hawks. Isaiah Thomas, he's checked in for Richardson. Here's Sloan. He's guarded by Thomas. Mahimi's shot is good.
They're earning their points with the jump shot now.
And that's right, Clark. 6 of their last 10 have come from the mid-range.
Outside Thomas. Puts it up and taken away by Ellis. In transition, here come the Nets. Here's Crabbe, and it's Brooklyn scoring again.
Boy, guys, they've shown some great passing on their last few trips down the floor. Excellent.
4 straight passes leading to scores. Great team play.
Tell you what, Monte Ellis is one of the best second-round draft picks of all time in the league, not just the last decade. I mean, this guy was a 5-star recruit out of high school, committed to college, but changed his mind and entered the draft, where the Warriors stole him with the 40th pick in 2005.
Lopez, he's checked in for Brooklyn. Rondo comes in for Donald Sloan. Hayward can't hit.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be because he is so strong in the paint.
Ellis off with the layup. Getting back to Monte Ellis. Had he gone to college for even 1 year, I think he would have probably been a top 10 pick. But you look at what he's brought to the table over his career. Points and assists, rebounds, steals, playmaking. His production has been astounding.
You know, he's one of those unsung players. He never gets voted to the All-Star game, never gets spoken about as one of the top guards in this league. But you look at the body of work and you ask his competitors throughout this league, and they're going to tell you that guy's as tough as they get.
The Hawks trailing. Redick is in the corner. And an intentional foul right there.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
Andrew Nicholson, he's checked in for Atlanta. Thomas, no luck.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down.
Here's Anthony. And again, no good by Brooklyn. For Atlanta, they've gone 1 of 6 from the field in the second quarter. It's been a rough period so far. Thomas with the ball, picked up by Ellis. Thomas with another miss.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
And stolen by Reddick to stop the drought, and Boozer with the block.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Tipped away, and the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
Well, Kevin, we got a moment now to look back to last year's Atlanta Hawks. Second in assists, second in three-point field goal percentage. And they also showed up in the top 5 in shooting percentage. This is a team that knows how to execute its offense and get good shots.
And from those assist numbers, you can see this was a very unselfish team. Their passing was really infectious and made them a tough team to defend.
Atlanta making a switch here. Richardson's checked in, and Thomas, here we go. To the middle, here's Blatch. That's good, and it's Thomas picking up the assist. Thomas got 3 assists now in this one.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Clearly, they've been the aggressors thus far when it comes to attacking the interior in this first half. And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side. Immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding, you have to give help. And of course, that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backboard.
Looking at who's out there now for the Nets. Mahinmi's checked in for Lopez, and Donald Sloan subbed in for Ellis.
And what an advantage. You really feel like you can always trust him when he's at the line.
Here's Mahinmi. The top of the key jumper is on the mark. Mahinmi's got 4 points this quarter. Greg, you're talking about Isaiah Thomas before. Certainly his short stature limits him on Clark, the defensive side.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't rack up a ton of steals, given his instincts and quickness. I think he really focuses on making his impact at the offensive end.
Rondo against Thomas. Now here's Rondo, looking for his first basket still in this one. It's deflected. Back to Boozer from deep. Can't get it to go. And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. The Hawks on top. They lead by 2. And a chance now to set.
Bill Carmelo, after this first half of play, what do you believe the team needs to focus on from here on out?
Well, just communication and trusting one another. When somebody get beat, the next guy got his back, and we're just trying to get up and down, get going some way, somehow. For the most part, we did pretty good. A couple of adjustments on the defensive end. Make some shots, and we'll be fine.
Melo, thanks for the time. Guys, over to you.
Thank you, Doran.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We're going to break down a competitive matchup for Atlanta in the first quarter. They were able to squeeze ahead by the end of the period with just a 1-point lead. And that's going to do it for now as the second half is almost ready to get started. Back to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. We're going to sit right here and wait for the end of the game and talk at you again.
And now the start of the second half. Neither side jumping out ahead through the first 2 quarters. So for Brooklyn now, Rajon Rondo is out there with Ellis. Then it's Anthony. Then there's Robin Lopez. And it's Ibaka in at the power forward position. Here's Rondo. Rebound Blatch. The Hawks leading. The shot by Hayward, wide open. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Thomas got 4 assists now tonight. The net shooting around 40% from the floor here.
You know, there was plenty to be happy about last year in Atlanta with the way the Hawks played. One sour note, though, was that the team was viewed as a potential buy for Seattle groups.
And that one's good. Here is Thomas. Pass to Hayward. It's Reddick on the wing. Another 3 for Atlanta.
Talk about doing a Rip Van Winkle on defense. Come on, guys, wake up. Why are they leaving him open at the three-point line? Come on.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. Nets were the hottest team and story a few years back, certainly, but last season they were put up for sale